Welcome back, team.
Alright, so to fulfill this particular thing, we need to go to the portal. Again, I'm repeating the part. We need to go to the portal and click on the virtual machine. Click create button, Azure virtual machine. Just follow the steps whatever I'm doing, team. Okay, you don't need to do any other thing extra. Especially the resource group. This resource group you need to understand a bit here. What is a resource group? That name itself is clearly telling you it's a collection of resources. All the resources are grouped together. That is what exactly resource groups are exactly defined for. And you may get some doubt why we need to tag all our resources or why we need to group all our resources. So we need to group these things. There is a special purpose for this one. See, whenever especially when we are discussing about the resource, this concept is a very small concept, resource group, because you just come here, you click on create button, there you'll simply go for AZ, I think you just go AZ or Z hyphen something and click OK. That's all. The resource group got created. But why we created? What is the reason or what is the need for that, right? So especially all the resources today, especially if you consider our scenario, now we are going to provision a virtual machine team. The virtual machine which we are provisioning in the portal, it's going to be tagged under the resource group called AZ-RZ. It's going to be tagged under AZ-RZ. And later in the further concepts also, we are going to provision app service and database also. Oh, Imran, can you please unmute Imran? In portal, app service and database also we are going to provision. As I already mentioned, total 3 components we are going to provision. All 3 components which I'm going to tag under the same resource group called AZ-RZ. So that my view is very clear what exactly I provision. If I want to delete or if I want to stop the instances, simply I can come to AZ-RZ. Very easy to refer the resources what's been created. And another advantage here is, in future, when you go to your company, sometimes manager asks you, hey DevOps engineer, can you please get me the cost record on all our resource groups, simple, or all our resources. Then how exactly you will tag this one? By using resource group, filtering is very easy. For example, I'm just showing you here. If you go to the portal, same, but I'm just duplicating the screen. I don't want to disturb the screen. That's why I just duplicate it. If you go here, there, you can go here especially and search for subscriptions. When you go for the subscription stream, this is exactly the subscription. This would be a real-time case stream, okay? You just come here, go to subscription, because to know what exactly the cost happened so far in the Azure cloud for your project, example, go to cost analysis. Under the cost analysis, usually you can see your daily cost. Comfortably you can see your cost. But your manager is asking you, I need the cost especially occurred for us for the past 3 months. Okay, last 3 months you place here. Okay, fine. But now the challenge is not only you or not only your project. Let's assume few other projects are also under the same subscription. Under the same subscription, let's consider few other projects also. Then you need to segregate your project resource groups very clearly. Maybe the representation I'm just giving here. This is one subscription. Okay, this is one subscription. Under the subscription, what exactly the thing I'm just drawing here? This is one RG. And again, another RG I'm just considering. Other RG, another resource group. Another RG I'm just considering. Now what I'm telling here is, this resource group belongs to you. This resource group also belongs to you. But this resource group not belongs to you. This resource group belongs to some other project. But your manager asked only to get the bill of these 2 resource groups, which belongs to your project. Then you will just come here. You will go for the filter. There you will go for the resource groups. Okay. You just come to the resource group. Here is the one exactly will help you to filter out your resource groups. Okay. But you need to follow some naming convention to know exactly what exactly your resource group and what is the charge occurred. For example, if you follow really ADO this particular ADO hyphen something, all ADOs are yours. Okay, then please select all ADOs. Total 9 resource groups are there, starts with ADO. Meaning that ADO is your project name which you are using specifically dedicatedly for your project. And once you are done, you click on the green tick, then that particular filter is happening. And this is your bill for the last 3 months. But your manager is asking you, I need these details on resource and resource group basis. You open this one, simply go there, just select cost by resource. Cost by resource. When you select the cost by resource, there is a possibility that the previously selected filter might be missed. Okay, this is commonly happening. Okay, when you are selecting the view, because you are completely changing the view. Can you please go there and select this, reselect this one more time, and go for the filter and just go for the resource group. Okay, and here I'm just going there. I'm just selecting AZ. I'm selecting ADO. Select this one. Click OK. That's all you need to do here. If you have this particular filter, very easy for you to inform your manager, hey, for the last 3 months, we are being charged heavily on the resource called container registry, which is $31.89. This is how exactly you can see the values. And this is the easy way to understand. Later you can download in the CSV or Excel and you can double check. This is how exactly you need to deal with. I will show you the reporting ones, especially when we are discussing about the cost optimization scenarios. But since just resource group came into the picture, I just gave a use case where exactly you may use this particular resource group specially in your real time. Just to represent your project resources and corresponding cost. For that purpose, you can use the resource groups comfortably. But that is not the only purpose for the resource group. This one will help you to just group all your resources together. That's the main thing. I'm just going back to our virtual machine place. I created one resource group called AZ-RC, followed by, I'm just going there. I'm just giving one thing called AZ-VM. Okay. And specially, which region you want to deploy your virtual machine? Which region? You can say a lot of regions, almost 60 plus regions are available in Azure. You can select whatever the region is very close to you. Why we need to select the virtual machine very close to you? Because then only you will get a lower latency. Lower latency, meaning that whenever you are interacting with this virtual machine or when you are trying to access anything from this virtual machine, the response time will be very less. Otherwise, latency will be high. Keep that point in your mind. And I'm just selecting. Since I am sitting in the Singapore, I'm selecting the Southeast Asia. And this is the one, always base rule. Keep the point in your mind. Always you need to provision your resources based on your user strength. For example, let's consider Flipkart.com or Amazon.com. You are developing an application for India, or you are developing an application for Hong Kong. You are developing an application for Singapore. You need to select hosting resources. Hosting resources means, especially hosting resources could be the app service or the database or the VM, whatever it is. All these things which are very near to Singapore. If you are interested to deploy in Singapore, your base is Singapore, your customers are from Singapore, then try to have the infrastructure also in Singapore. But your customers are from Hong Kong, try to have infrastructure from Hong Kong. That's the point you need to make sure always. Always you need to make sure that, okay? Right. Once you are done with this particular thing, I just selected this particular. And let's special availability option. Specially, this is I just discussed a particular terminology. If you recall, during our first class, I discussed on the HA. High availability I discussed, okay? So, if you want to maintain this virtual machine as highly available or okay with the normal, that is what exactly the option here. For now, I'm not really interested to choose any one of these things because we are not moving on into these concepts. Maybe we will see these things a bit later. Okay, not right now, not at the moment. I'm just keeping this one here. Okay, right. So once you are done with these things, especially I'm just giving a quick recap on the part. So especially if you recall this one, or whatever the hierarchy we discussed. If you deploy a virtual machine, especially in this particular data center, Especially this particular virtual machine is and belongs to zone 1 or zone 2, and this virtual machine belongs to zone 3. This is what zone redundant virtual machine. That is what exactly they are asking. That is what exactly they are asking you here. If you open this one of the options is availability zone. This is based on the zone, meaning that you are keeping one virtual machine in one zone, another virtual machine in another zone. That's what exactly their intention. That is exactly their intention. That is the thing exactly you need to keep in our mind as well. I'm just changing the colors for your reference. Okay, this VM belongs to this zone, this VM belongs to this zone. That's where exactly two VMs belongs to two different zones. So you are maintaining very high availability for your virtual machine. Simple thing. But I don't want to discuss these things because we will see these things further, especially in Kubernetes and Docker. There we will see really well, but not right now. It's too early. But you know the concept. Just keep that one in your mind. Okay. And security type, I'm just keeping this particular thing as a standard. You will understand what exactly the standard. So basic rules will apply if you whenever you are selecting the security type as standards. Let's wait for a while. We will see these things. Especially image. What is image? So meaning the team, for example, what kind of virtual machine you want to provision. From this particular diagram, you are clearly seeing that, okay, from the list is the provision of Ubuntu machine is the one exactly we placed here, right? You just go back and please go there and select the Ubuntu. You can select other Linux distributions or Windows also, not an issue. But for now, we are starting with Ubuntu. And the VM architecture, whatever the thing, I think this one is recently introduced only. For the past 1 to 1.5 months, I need to see this option still. I haven't go through this one, but for now, whatever the default option is there, I'm just keeping this one. But I will refer and I will let you know this one. Okay, I will refer and let you know this one. Now, why and what exactly the differences usually we will get when we are selecting the ARM64 and x64. I just want to see the differences. Okay, I mean what is the difference, especially on the virtual machine? That's a point now. But I'm keeping the default. If you don't know anything, especially in the cloud, keep it as default. Okay. Don't modify on top of that one. Okay, keep this point also in your mind. And especially run with Azure spot discount. This particular spot discount I will discuss in a minute. Just wait for a while. Okay, what exactly this spot and spot discounts and all. And especially the size, I'm just selecting the basic model. Whatever the cheapest is available for me. Cheapest available is standard B2S. I'm selecting the standard B2S, which is $38. US dollar per month. This is the one exactly I'm selecting for now. That is more than enough. And especially what kind of connection you are trying to make. Is it a key based connection or password based connection? Day 1, we will go with the password. After day 3 or day 4, then I will launch one more virtual machine with the key based. Okay, then you will understand better. And username. You need to provide the username. I'm just giving some username for this one. I'm just giving the username as Azure user. And especially I'm just passing a password here. Yes, I passed the password. Just give me a minute, team. Let me connect the charger to my machine. Okay, all right. So once you are done with this particular thing, there is another thing in the next section. It is asking one interesting thing. Which port actually you are opening for the public? See, whenever you are dealing with Linux distribution machines, open port 22. That is the one exactly we can connect from outside. You don't need to open any other ports. HTTP 80 443 is not really required. HTTPS will listen on 443 and HTTP will listen on 80 always stream. Okay. I'm just keeping this section as it is. That's all. I'm just going for the disk. Especially when it comes to the disk, you need to think about only two options because team, we will touch only few options. As part of our discussion, we will not go in detail about each and everything because if you go in detail about only virtual machine alone will take 5 to 6 days. But how is our learning? Our learning will be our virtual machine at level 0. Next time, virtual machine at level 1, virtual machine level 2. Likewise, we will improve our knowledge on an iterative basis. Okay, like agile model. Okay, in the same way. Especially on the disk. OS disk is the one which comes with the virtual machine. I'm just keeping that one as it is. The premium is not really needed. You can take a standard SSD also. And especially delete with VM means whenever you are deleting the virtual machine, you want to delete the disk also. Please uncheck this one. In your real time also try to uncheck this one. The reason why I'm asking, sometimes if someone joined your company, he don't have any exposure or any experience on the Azure cloud. But somehow he got an access to the Azure cloud and accidentally he deleted this virtual machine. But you have saved a lot of things in this virtual machine. The moment when he delete the virtual machine, automatically disk also will be deleted. OS disk also will be deleted. If OS disk also deleted, you cannot recover that one from your end. That is not possible. But somehow you are not noticed that one even for first 3 days. After 3 days only you noticed. Then if you go there, if you raise the Azure support ticket also, Azure will not help you to recover that particular thing because they cannot. Usually they also have the garbage collections. So usually Azure also maintaining some batches. If, for example, if you delete a virtual machine, so example I'm just telling you, virtual machine and along with the disk also, that doesn't mean that the Azure is completely decommissioned your thing. Azure still holds your virtual machine on the disk, but they will never inform you saying that we will help you in recovering you in your virtual machine. What you need to do, you need to connect with the Azure support. You need to request them, hey, just before seems to be one of our engineer deleted the virtual machine accidentally. Can you please help to recover the virtual machine? Definitely they will help you because their batches will run once in a day or twice in a day. When the batches runs, then only your decommissioned things will be cleared out completely. Until then, they still hold this one. Though you deleted, but they still hold it. Remember that one. In real time, if someone deleted a virtual machine, someone accidental or you deleted, but don't panic. Don't panic. Still you can recover it. Though you haven't configured Azure backup or Azure site recovery. You haven't configured any backup things, but still you can recover. Still you can. That's what the point I'm stressing. Okay, you can recover, but you need to be act very quickly. Okay, very quickly, less than 2-3 hours. If you have not noticed that one more than a day, that you are gone already. Okay. If you enable backup, obviously that is absolutely possible. No doubt in that side. Okay, that is absolutely possible. But if you don't enable the backup, because usually we will enable backup not for all the virtual machines. Usually for the test environments, we will not enable that one. Especially for the productions, we will enable. But test environment is also holding some important information. Then obviously you can think if someone deleted unknowingly or accidentally, still you have an option. But don't consider this option as a very good option. This is the worst case option for you. Okay. Right. No need to attach any data disk. I'm skipping few options here. You no need to worry. Slowly we will understand those things. Especially under the virtual network, what are the options they are giving us as a default? I'm just using those things. If you see something with the bracket new, that's going to be created as a fresh. Because we haven't created any virtual machine, we haven't segregated that one into the subnets and all. This is a completely new network. I'm just keeping this one as it is because I have not discussed anything on the network. What's your problem statement? Your problem statement is you need to deploy your database, your app service publicly. I don't require any kind of virtual network planning and all. That's why. Keep rest all as it is. You don't need to touch these things, especially port 22 is always there. Allowed only, inbound port is allowed only selected ports, okay? And again, delete public IP and NIC, network interface card when VM is deleted. Absolutely fine. Again, this particular thing, if you check this particular option, your public IP and network interface card, these two will be deleted whenever you delete the virtual machine. Why Azure is charging public IP also for you? It's a public IP, right? You may think it's a free. No. Azure is not holding any public IPs with them. Usually they will buy public IPs from IANA, okay? IANA. So they'll buy public IPs from IANA. They need to pay the amount for the public IPs to IANA. That's why they will charge you here. They will charge you for the public IPs. I don't need to have any kind of accelerated networking and all, because if you want to make sure your actions are at the network side, your server side, your actions needs to be very quick, then only you will enable this one. Otherwise, it's not really required. But that too, it will be available for few virtual machines, because your mission is not so good as to capture this particular option. And finally, load balancing is not really required. I'm not doing anything on the virtual machine by keeping the load balancer. Go for the management. I'm not touching anything here, just leave as it is. Monitoring, not touching anything, leave as it is. Advanced, not touching anything, leave as it is. Go for the tax. Especially under the tax. This is also another interesting fact. In real time, just before I just mentioned you one scenario. Whenever your manager asked you, hey, please get the cost of the virtual machine, or please get the cost of the resource group, or please get the cost of the project. I mentioned you, please go to the subscription and search for resource groups. You no need to depend on that one. But tags are dedicatedly for you. Your tags are dedicatedly for that scenario. This is a certification question team, okay? In real time, why tags are so important? The tags are really important to segregate the cost on the resources or resource groups on the project level. If you want to differentiate the cost among the projects, what exactly the things you will use? You will use tags to differentiate the cost. By using tags, you can easily differentiate the cost among the resources, or among the resource groups, or among the subscriptions also. Okay, remember that particular point. I'm just giving this particular thing as owner. I'm using a tag called owner. I'm just giving some TR. I'm just giving something. That's the one exactly I'm just giving. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything more. And finally, review create. Once review create, then finally click on create button. Click on create button. Now your virtual machine validation already passed. Now your virtual machine is getting created. You need to wait for some time, then your virtual machine will be ready for your process. Okay. This is all about provisioning a virtual machine from the portal. We skipped a few options. We will see these options later. Okay. Those are not important for our scenario at this moment. Thank you for the session. See you in the next part.